Mrs. Johnson, and welcome to my first attempt at creating a podcast. I'm going to answer a question today that I get from junior high orchestra parents every year, and that's the question of what is a step-up instrument, and how do I know when my child might be ready for one? Lots of parents tell me they feel pretty clueless about this sort of thing since they aren't musicians themselves. However, they're always surprised that after I show them the difference, they can tell the difference between the student-level instrument and the step-up instrument. One quick note before I get into this too far, don't confuse step-up instruments with size-up instruments. Size-up just means going from a smaller instrument to a bigger one, perhaps full-sized, and it's the same quality. Step-up instruments are of a higher quality than the student-level instruments and are typically available just in the full size. So in this recording, I'm going to attempt to answer the most frequently asked questions that I hear about step-up instruments. The best metaphor that I've come up with to compare this concept to is cars. If you need to get from home to work, you can accomplish that just fine in a 20-year-old Buick. However, you can accomplish the same goal in a brand new Corvette, but the experience is going to be a lot different. Both cars get you where you need to go, but the Corvette will likely handle better, get better mileage, and just be more fun and motivating to drive. This is because more time and energy and money was spent to craft that Corvette into being a much faster and more precise machine. Therefore, it can handle more demanding tasks better than the old Buick, like maybe a cross-country trip or a drag race or whatever. That same concept can be applied to student-level and step-up instruments. Both levels of instrument are capable of playing the same notes and rhythms, but the sound and what I call the ease of playability is going to be much different between the two. Student-level instruments are made with many machine-made parts, and they are assembled in a mass production sort of environment in order to keep the cost lower. They are great for beginners who are just learning the basics of how to play. Step-up instruments are largely handcrafted with higher quality materials and are assembled by a person with careful attention paid to all the details of the instrument setup. In the hands of an experienced player, this allows a step-up instrument to achieve a bigger and better tone, to play more advanced techniques with the bow, and most importantly, to be a lot more rewarding and motivating to play. In Jenison, we've found that most of our students become ready for the step-up instrument somewhere around the 8th grade year. By that time, many students are realizing that they have the skills to do more than their instrument is allowing them to do. These students are the ones who have learned how to control their bows well, use vibrato, shift to new positions, etc., but their student-level instrument isn't capable of producing those new, better sounds very well. Moving to that step-up instrument is often such a motivating factor for these kids that practicing becomes much more fun and rewarding. So let me actually show you what I'm talking about. If you have the ability to use speakers that are better than your computer's internal speakers right now, you'll get a much more accurate impression of what this really sounds like. I'm going to play the same scale for you on a student-level violin and then on a step-up violin. And I will play the two instruments in exactly the same way so that you can hear strictly the difference in the sound between the two instruments. Most people will hear the first one and describe it with words like harsh or tinny or nasal or thin, whereas they hear the second tone and might use words like more full, warm, deep, or mature. Often the upper or lower ranges of an instrument are particularly striking. I'll play you the lower range of the student instrument first. So hopefully you can hear that difference in those low notes. I'll play the higher registers for you as well. First the student level instrument and then the step up. So hopefully you can hear that difference between the two and understand better what the step-up instrument can offer your student when he or she is ready for it. If you're not sure if your student is ready for the Step Up yet, or if you have any other questions about all of this, as always, please don't hesitate to contact me or Mr. Scott, and we'd be happy to talk further with you about any of these details. So thanks for listening, and have a great day.